Okay, it's the Chunk Podcast, and it wasn't too long ago we were doing the NBA Bubble Preview Podcast. And now, after just a handful of scrimmage games, every team got 3, we are finally here. And it's already happened. It happened last night. If you're listening to this, spoiler alert, the NBA is back officially. And last night we had 2 games. The Utah Jazz took on the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Battle of Los Angeles that took place in Orlando between the Clippers and the Lakers. So if you watched either of those games last night, you were treated to some just fantastic basketball, which was, well, let me say that fantastic endings, I will say, to basketball games. Some of them were pretty sloppy. The Lakers.
Did you watch both games from start to finish?
Yes, stem to stern. I couldn't watch. Stem to David Stern, by the way, rest in peace. Anyway, no, I did. I couldn't stop it. I had no choice. Basketball was back, and it made me feel good in all the right places. So, but we can start obviously with the game that started first. The Utah Jazz took on the Pelicans. Zion was obviously any chance that they get, they can hype Zion up. He barely played.
Yeah, so like how many minutes did Zion play? Do we know?
He
like
played,
exactly?
I think it was like 19, maybe not even that. It's like 15 total minutes. It was like a bunch of 3-minute bursts where he would come in, he would feast, he would just drop buckets, throw bodies around, and then they'd be like, "We got to take you out of the game." And there was actually
why is Zion still on a minutes restriction? He's been out for 4 months. He should be healthy, right?
He should be healthy. He is healthy, but here's the deal. They're always trying to be way too careful with him. But he wound up leaving the bubble, so he missed out on a lot of practices and I think all the scrimmage games. He didn't get any scrimmage run, so that was his first basketball game since the stoppage of play. So.
Man,
a man like that, with a body like that, you have to, I don't know, you can't just say, all right, run out there and go 100 miles an hour.
At least play. If you're going to, I mean, there's only so many games. They have to earn a playoff spot.
Right.
Like,
they needed that win.
Play 4 games and then go home?
Yeah.
What's the point of playing if you're not going to try to win?
They needed that win. And honestly, everything that happened up into that game, if you watched it, the Jazz started out pretty strong. The Pelicans dominated the game for just the vast majority of it. And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter hit, the second half and most of the fourth quarter, the Jazz just took over the game. And I don't know, just before you knew it, the Jazz wound up putting it together. I think the Jazz obviously are the better team, especially if you look at the record. They, from top to bottom, they're the better team. But and they're getting flamed for it right now, the coaching staff and I guess the medical staff for the Pelicans, if they would have managed Zion's minutes better to have him in towards the end of the game. He wasn't even playing at the end of the game.
Yes, I saw this tweet. It was like they have a minutes restriction on Zion, but it's funny that it doesn't include the last 3 minutes of the game.
Right, when the game's on the line and the guy literally steps into the game and is an automatic bucket. You know, obviously he at least
just don't play him as much in the middle of the game and save him for the end.
Right.
He's your best player.
It didn't make any sense. I don't know what they were doing, and I feel like this is what happened when he first came back. The very first game of the entire season, back when, the first half of the season, when he first played that first game, they were the same thing happened. The coaching staff was like, they felt like obviously every time he was on the court, it changed the way the team operated. They were a much better team. And the same thing happened. They got flamed because they mismanaged when to play him and they had to pull him out towards the end of the game. And I think they wound up losing that game anyway. But these games matter.
Yeah.
Like this is a real game. You have 8 games to stay within and claim. Right now they're battling Portland for the 9th seed. So not only do they need to secure the 9th seed, they have to beat Portland. They have to remain within 4 games of the Grizzlies to be granted the opportunity to play in for the 8th seed. So yeah, we talked about that in the last podcast.
So they basically have to win like as many games as they can.
Well, they needed that game.
Run the table.
They absolutely needed that game, and I really don't understand why. What happened with Zion. Zion played 15 minutes, so he played 5 3-minute bursts throughout the game. So he played 15 minutes, and he wound up dropping 13 points. And obviously with Zion, you're going to get a lot of dunks. He had A couple off. I think he had offensive foul. I remember it just he's obviously such a heavy human being that when he starts taking off towards the basket, anybody
Heavy
in the
human
way.
being.
I'm just saying he's a massive man. I posted a
He's
tweet.
huge.
I posted a tweet last night, and it was Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson rolling up to the NBA bubble, and it was Mr. Fantastic and the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's what they look like. That they remind me. That's exactly what they are. It's
a
just
classic tag team.
Two fascinating body types on the same team.
And I guess Brandon Ingram is good now, right?
Bro, he's been
He's
good. He was an
all
all-star.
over the place.
He was an all-star this year.
Who's not an all-star? I think I was an all-star this year.
Were you?
They let everyone become an all-star. Yeah, look it up.
Jesus. No, okay. No, listen. The Pelicans could have had this game. The Jazz did everything they could to lose this game, and then somehow they came out on top because they're the better team, and I think moving forward, obviously, you're going to see that. But like I said, the Pelicans needed this. The coaching staff needed to manage Zion's ability to be on the court. And I think they won't make that mistake again after you lose one. The pressure's now on. You need to use him or else you're not going to make the playoffs, this bubble playoffs.
Say, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's exactly what happened. But you know what I was shocked about? Well, not shocked about. The style of play that's encouraged now with this bubble and this no home court, no fans, no nothing. It's literally like almost a practice in their mentality. Obviously, there's a lot of sloppy play, especially in the Lakers-Clippers game. We will get to that in a second. It was a train wreck for most of the game. But they're just chucking, man. Like, everybody's just throwing it. Like, every time they get a chance, there's like a sliver of a three-point opportunity, they're chucking it.
Really?
Yeah, oh my God.
I did see some tweets that, like, Lonzo was shooting bricks and Kuzma was shooting bricks.
All right. Alonzo was just straight garbage. All right. Every time this man took a shot. Yeah. Oh, I got to look his stats up. They were putrid. I think he went he had made like 2 shots. He was like 2 for 12 or something like that.
But 2 for 12? Who let him shoot 12 shots?
Bro, it's not even. The problem with Lonzo is he's a great defensively. He's a great point guard. He can find the open man. But the one thing that's never developed for him, he's actually not a terrible shooter. Like he's a passable shooter, but he just had a bad game there. A lot of his misses come from when he tries to drive to the basket and he can't finish. He can't finish. It's like he's horrible around the rim. So he's missing layups. He's taking contested layups with like Rudy Gobert on you. Yeah, that's a terrible idea when he's in the paint. You don't go after him. But
Lonzo, because I'm in college, he could shoot. He had a janky looking shot, but he would make them. It'd splash all day.
Okay, so here's a stat line. If you don't look at this, I mean, 6 points, that's ugly. But 7 assists and 4. Or no, wait, no, he had 4 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. So yeah, that's pretty
more
bad.
Rebounds and assists than he
But
did
he'll always give you the assists, and he can give you he crashes the boards. He'll give you rebounds.
Yeah, and he's good on defense. He's a good player. He's like a poor man's Rondo.
But had he just made one more shot, maybe this game goes differently. They only lost by 2. It was 106 to 104. Exactly. So anyway, it was a fun game to watch. Very odd to see Rudy Gobert, who got blamed for the season ending in the first place. Being the person to score. He scored the first basket in the game of the NBA coming back, and he wound up scoring the points that wound up winning the game for the Jazz.
That's deep. That's deep. Sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Yeah, he can.
Where's Nikki at?
No, I know we needed one. No, everyone looked healthy for everyone. Obviously, a lot of people on the Jazz had COVID, specifically Rudy Gobert. He didn't lick any microphones. He didn't spit on anybody, which is good. But it was a good first game, and I know Jazz Pelicans, especially with the limited minutes for Zion, doesn't seem like the premier first game that the NBA would have wanted. But
they love Zion, and the Jazz were the team that started off the whole COVID thing. So
yeah, so they're like, let's put him back on the line there. So that was a pretty decent game. Now we can go to the second game. Obviously, these are the top two teams in the Western Conference: the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers. They wound up playing. It was at 9 o'clock. It was 6:30 start for the first game, 9 o'clock for the next game. I thought
that's my bedtime. I know.
Do that. I'm conditioned to see the Western Conference games at like 10:30, going into like 1 a.m. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make it. That extra hour did help, at least help me get. I mean, obviously, not having any obligation the following day is nice too. But I was able to stay up and watch the entirety of the game. And what I saw was an insane amount of turnovers for both teams, specifically the Clippers. I got to check that. Let me check the stats on turnovers. Okay, they had both teams. The Clippers had 20 turnovers. The Lakers had 16. It was ugly all around. And what wound up making the game good, obviously, was the fourth quarter and the fact that it was close. And it wound up being Anthony Davis was unreal. I don't know if you saw the highlights of the game, but
I did. I saw a couple of Anthony Davis plays.
He went on a run where he was hitting from everywhere. He was hitting like post fades. He hit back-to-back three-pointers. He was chucking, and everything was dropping.
He's good.
Obviously,
that's what I was telling people. Like, but like, is there a better duo in the league besides LeBron and AD? That's why I think they're going to win the whole thing, because those two players, they're the best duo in the whole league. Better than Kawhi and Paul George, obviously, last night.
Okay, I understand. Okay, listen. I understand what you're saying. And obviously on our podcast, if you listen to, we made predictions. And once these we'll call them play-in games, but they're not playing games. Once the playoffs are set after these games are done, these last few 8 games for each team, we're going to go in and we're going to do deep dive predictions of how we see the playoffs playing out. But you picked Lakers over Raptors. I mean, obviously we have yet to see the Raptors play, but Raptors are good. Obviously, we'll see how that goes in the East.
Don't sleep on the Raptors. I think they invited Drake to the bubble, so he's going to be there on the sideline freaking out.
He's going to be one of the
factor.
Did you see the sideline people? They like piping in people. They have like they're using like Microsoft Bosh. Teams or something for like.
Oh my god!
It's like they just have fans. Digital
fans.
Have
Drake for the Raptors. I'm telling you, watch out.
They're gonna probably give him a mic too and let him talk through the thing so he can yell at people. But okay, but anyway, what I'm saying is you picked the Lakers to win the championship. I picked the Clippers to win the championship. They played last night. Again, this game probably in the grand scheme of things meant nothing for either team. Obviously, the Clippers don't want to fall too much, and I don't think they will. And the Lakers pretty much already secured the 1 seed. So at that point, I think hopefully we're headed towards a crash course of battle for LA in the Western Conference Finals. That would be the dream. But I always feel like this happens where every year you say, man, it'd be really sick to see this team and this team, the best 2 teams, battle it out to go to the the finals, and they somehow one of them fumbles.
Yeah, it doesn't ever happen that way. It always ends up being the Cavs and the Warriors or something. It seems like.
All right. That's probably not going to happen this year, considering the fact that neither of those teams were even invited to the bubble. So
I got a question though. Was Lou Williams there?
No. So he's there. He's still quarantining. He had to quarantine, I believe, for 10 days or 14 days, whatever. He's going to miss a few games, a few real meaningful games. But that's the thing, is that when watching this game, obviously Anthony Davis and LeBron, I do agree with you. I think they're the best duo in the NBA. But I've conceded that since day one. But I've also said the Clippers, especially when fully healthy and when their players don't go to strip clubs for chicken wings, they have the best top to bottom team in the league, and it's not even close, I think, on paper. If you look at it, like their bench is consistent of players that were starting players for other teams last season, and now they are just in a bench role because either they're championship chasing or they recognize real. Is that a thing people say?
I think so. But is a deeper team, is that better than a top heavy team?
Okay, but how top heavy can you be? If your top heavy stops at the top 2 and you have no, like, who's left? Who can you name after?
Danny Green.
Come on, man. He had a horrible game.
Former almost finals MVP.
Come on, man. No, Danny Green, 6 points last night, 25 minutes, 6 points, 1 board, no assists.
All he needs to do is get hot. All he needs to do is shoot.
Well, that's the thing, is like you're right. All they need to do, and they have a bunch of people who have the ability to get hot. But if one night goes by, maybe not one night, but in a 7-game series, you're going to rely on Danny Green, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, Kuzma. Those are, like, they can get hot, but if none of them get hot and it's just LeBron and AD trying to carry the team, as soon as one of them sits, it's over.
Well, I don't think that LeBron's going to sit. He never sits. He plays the whole game. AD,
you can't have that. I don't know.
Drop 30 and 30 for 30. AD, let's go.
Jesus. He'll probably, maybe they'll get one after this. If this team wins the championship, it'll be whoever wins is going to get a bubble documentary for sure.
A bubble 30 for 30. They should.
It's going to be good. That's obviously down the line. But what I'm saying is, I do think when it comes down to, like, most teams will probably have like an 8-man rotation. Some teams, maybe even the Lakers, will have a 7-man rotation. And when it comes down to meaningful games in the playoffs, that's not. I don't know. I just don't see that their 7-man rotation is going to be good enough to compete with.
But maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe the Clippers even lose to somebody else before they play the Lakers.
That's the thing.
About
a
that?
lot of people are like trying to position. They're trying to say, what if we just lost this game and then we get matched up with blah 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 in the first round? You know what I mean? Like they're all trying to find a way to finagle how to get it. But Shaq said it last night, and I think a couple of people, if you watched TNT last night, they were saying you almost want the Clippers in the first round at this point, rather than waiting for them to find them later on. You know what I mean? Like you want to meet them sooner.
For them to get chemistry. Yeah, you want to play the Clippers as soon as you can.
Yeah. So anyway, that being said, Kawhi and Paul George looked amazing last night. Kawhi had a pretty horrible scrimmage game series. He just was kind of chucking. He wasn't really there. Everything was flat. And he did start this game a little flat, but he turned it on. Paul George was super hot. But you're telling me when Lou Williams comes back and Montrezl
How do we
Harrell,
know he's coming back? How do we know he's not going to skip out again for those wings? He says they're really good. I believe him.
He's coming back. So Lou Williams is coming back. Montrezl Harrell, who is like their best big man, is coming back. They didn't have him last night either. And they turned the ball over 20 times. And they only lost by 2. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is, listen, you can't take this.
There's one basketball. Okay?
Right.
All those guys can't score at the same time. I mean, I think the Lakers have a real good shot. All you have to do is beat them, 4 times? It's not like the better team always wins. That's not always true.
Anyway, I see what you're saying, and this is something we'll revisit obviously down the line. We could only hope that the Clippers-Lakers meet in the Western Conference Finals. That would be the American dream, to have this for 7 games. But I don't. Every time I wish for something like that, something completely opposite happens. It's going to be like Nuggets Jazz. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how we're going to get there. It's going to be something stupid.
Oh yeah.
But no, with this bubble and with the atmosphere that there is, without really having a home court advantage, you're just getting a matchup advantage. It's going to be very interesting to see how this Western Conference plays out, because there are contenders. The Jazz, they're missing Bogdanovich, who's one of their best shooters. He didn't even come to the bubble. He just opted out. But they're a good team. The Nuggets have proved, obviously, in the scrimmage games that they're a good team, and they have a lot of young players that, when hot.
Yeah, and Jokic lost like 50 pounds.
Yeah, dude.
He's like dunking and stuff now.
The Western Conference, the Rockets obviously are right there too. Harden in this, again, if you've watched Harden at all in the scrimmage games, it's like I don't know, he's on another level. Like he walks to his spot and hits every time. Every time he gets the ball.
He's like a freaking 2K player.
It is. It's disgusting. And it's fascinating, too. It's just how people's mindset in this atmosphere is going to change the whole landscape of the playoffs. It's going to be pretty fascinating to watch. So, I don't know. The 2 amazing games.
Rockets, Clippers, first round.
Rockets, Clippers, first round.
Is that possible?
I don't know what the standings are, but I'll have to check it again. I know, obviously, we went over that, but we'll have to check that and see what the standings are. But it's probably a possibility at some point, but let me check the standings. I'm just mumbling right now.
When do the Knicks play? Is that soon or?
No, the Knicks actually, they didn't get invited, friend. But they did. You did get Tom Thibodeau as your head coach, so good luck to RJ Barrett's knees.
That was the best Knicks.
RJ Barrett's knees
That's the best
already
Knicks
gone.
move in a long time.
Is it? I'm still sick of seeing him get hired and then pushed out, and then hired and pushed out of every organization.
Yeah, I don't get it.
In the
like they hire him and they get mad at him for doing Tom Thibodeau stuff. So what do you expect when you hire the guy? He's going to wear your players out. He's going to be good, but they're going to play hard.
That stamina meter is going to be low on those players. Anyway, no. So Rockets, as it stands right now, are they have 40 wins along with the Thunder, the Rockets, and there are the Rockets and the Mavericks. They could theoretically fall to 7, and we could get Rockets Clippers in the first round. But whoever the Clippers wind up playing in the first round, it's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, it's going to be interesting no matter what. I mean, the NBA is back. The NBA's first night, 2 great games, both decided by 2 points. I'm pretty excited. But today, which I mean, whenever you're listening to this,
what's the games today?
I don't want to. I mean, today right now, there's games starting at 2:30 and moving forward throughout. I think this entire 2 weeks of these games, you're going to see basketball at 2:30 p.m. all the way in through like midnight. And it's like the most amazing feeling in the world. So it's pretty sweet. At any time, you can just pop on the TV and watch some NBA. It feels like March Madness almost. Like we didn't get March Madness, but now we're getting NBA bubble madness, and it's happening all day long. But Magic Nets going on at 2:30 today. It depends on when you're listening to this, by the way. That probably has already happened. And did it even happen if nobody watched?
No.
Okay. Suns Wizards.
Wait, it's happening right now?
No, I'm not. It's not. It's happening at 2:30. But I'm saying when somebody listens to this, I don't know if it's already probably over. So I don't want to harp on the schedule too much. This is the Friday schedule following opening night. Suns Wizards, bro. Woo. All right. But at 4, things get a little spicy. You get Grizzlies Trailblazers. You get to see Ja Morant and Damian Lillard go at it. The Celtics Bucks is going to be the game of the day for sure. I don't know if you know, but some people here on this podcast are Celtics fans. But Celtics Bucks, that could very, very well be the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on how that shapes up in the seedings. But that's going on at 6:30. 8 o'clock, you can probably turn your TV off for the Kings versus Spurs. You probably don't need to watch that. And then you get Rockets Mavs tonight at 9. So that's going to be a good one.
That'd be a good game.
So there's more good basketball going on today. But other than that, that's
exciting. Exciting time. Sports are officially back. I think the NBA is going to stay back because they're in a bubble. But like other sports, MLB, NFL.
When this experiment is over, obviously there's no COVID test, or they've been doing COVID testing, but there's no positive results for 2 rounds of testing. 344 players in this NBA bubble. Nobody's got COVID. Obviously a great sign. The only thing that could mess this up would be like somebody bringing in food. Like a service person, you know what I mean? Like coming in and somebody
like a side piece, you know what I mean?
A side piece.
A side piece.
That could be a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's very encouraging, especially the way that the MLB is going right now with positive tests left and right. Complete MLB teams getting infected. Obviously, you're seeing that with the Marlins and a couple other teams that are going through some stuff. I don't know how they're going to get through that. I mean, but what's funny is they literally have a bubble. They've had the blueprint for a bubble in place with spring training. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the Tri-County area.
Yeah.
They take the teams, go to the hotels. You have spring training. Obviously, you don't want to do that in Florida either, but it's not as airtight as the Disney bubble with what the NBA is doing. There's nothing I don't think in any sport can do with what they're doing right now. But football, that's a whole nother story. I know you drafted your dynasty fantasy team to win now. And it's not looking good.
Probably not the best decision.
Right. So the way
Damian Williams is out, it's bad.
Yeah, the way other leagues are going to do it is quite frankly not my problem. I don't really care. I'm just happy the NBA is back, and we got 2 amazing games right out the gate. So I guess, that's where we're at. This is an update for the first night. Obviously, we're going to probably weekly, we'll recap how things are shaping up with the standings, and then we're going to definitely hop on and do we'll see if any of our finals predictions change after we watch these games, but I'm feeling just so good to have that back, man. I'm feeling real good. I'm excited to just
good.
I'm plopping on my couch. There's going to be a hole in it. I'm just going to freaking squat and watch basketball all day long.
From 2:30 to 9:30 to the end of the game at 9:30. It's going to be.
I'm going to get bed sores. It's going to be disgusting. But yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see it. So. Anything from you on your end? What are you excited about?
Maybe I'll try to watch the 9 o'clock game tonight. Who is it? The
Rockets Mavs, man. You're not gonna watch any Celtics Bucks?
I don't think I probably won't be home at 6:30, but I'll be home at 9. I can make it happen.
Okay, all right. You gotta watch your guy Jason Tatum, bro. That's your guy.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see Giannis dunk all over Tatum's face. Okay. That will be great.
All right. That's probably will happen. There's no real way to stop Giannis, so there's really nothing you can do about that. But this has been fun. We just wanted to do a little chunk of the NBA is back. We wanted to throw that out there.
Ooh, a little chunk.
This is a chunk, man. Chunk. That's the whole point. The chunk was always about little chunk content. All right, and this is it.
Little chunk content. That makes
sense. Little chunkers. This one's for you. So anyway, it's been fun. Obviously, we'll hop back on. We'll get everybody else on for a more detailed podcast as we move forward and closer to the NBA playoffs. So I guess that's it, man. We're going to hop out of here. If you're listening to this, we appreciate you, obviously. Quick 20 minutes of your life you'll never get back. So at the Chunk Pod, everywhere else, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.